Hey everybody, it's Matt and welcome back to Crypto Kings, and it looks like Shiba Inu has done something absolutely amazing. Let's get right into it, folks. So, after a long, sort of very heated period over on social media, with a lot of FUD and a lot of, oh my goodness, it's going to go to zero, yada yada, Shiba Inu has managed to do something pretty amazing. Now, you guys can see the market cap, of course, is still holding all the way at $37 billion, which is incredible here on the day. But what is concerning, of course, is you guys will note the most recent price. Now, what I see as concerning for a lot of people, I actually think is sort of a good thing, and you guys will see when we check the graph here. So what we are essentially looking at here with SHIB is a predicted crash from the top, but regardless, the ability to bounce back in a way that I think is predictable, is normal, and expected from any asset that is seeing growth like this. So, to put it simply, I am watching with SHIB a very normal expected pullback that does not exceed in any way, shape, or form a crash that would be more than typical. So when it comes down to it, guys, I think that we have established a sort of level of support here right at where some of the bottom of these candles are. So you guys will note that once this run starts here on the 27th, you guys can see we go all the way from around 56 up to around 88. And, I think a lot of people during this transition ended up buying somewhere, maybe near the bottom, maybe near the top, but regardless, a lot of people in this transition bought and spent a lot of money on this, and ideally the goal here is to make money, right? Simple as that. Well, if you guys are looking to make money, check out Webull, guys. Top of the description is so easy to do. Literally all you guys have to do is sign up with my link. You guys can get a free stock or two. It's easy to do. You can get up to $2,300 in free stocks as well. Some people have gotten lucky and gotten free shares of Apple and Facebook, so that sounds interesting to you guys. Of course, you guys go over there, you can trade crypto, including SHIB and some stocks. Top of the link down below in the description. But like I was saying, guys, the goal here is to make as much money as possible, and ideally we want a dollar cost average in as low as possible, and that's something I talked about in my previous video. But when it comes to dollar cost averaging, it looks as if some people have gotten this figured out, because what I would anticipate is a lot of people set limit buy orders somewhere around 6, and that is why, in my view, that could be the new potential line of support, and it looks as if SHIB is not dipping below that. So when we set our sights here on 6, you guys can see that every run we've had, just about the minute it touches it, bounces back off, which is excellent. This really shows that SHIB has proved itself, because in a situation where this was just a rug pull, a scam, in that kind of situation, we would not be watching it bouncing off of these very critical support levels. That's not something that will be happening, and there are a lot of tokens out there that will see a surge and then immediately crash down and never see their old highs again. Well, what this is showing is that we very well could experience our all-time high again. Now, I've talked a lot on this channel about horizontal sort of movements, where something will trade horizontally for a while, essentially consolidating in a set region. And you guys can see that roughly from early October, around October 8th, all the way up until the 24th, I've pointed out this region a lot. It's basically just a period of consolidation, and ignoring all these candles, if I were to draw it out for you guys, it's literally just this. It's top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, where it's hitting the top and hitting the bottom, and every time it does, people are considering this a good time to buy and a good time to sell. And ideally, as that stays close, it will, sort of prepare for an emergent breakout. This is a very typical movement. Any movement like this is kind of typical. And you guys can see, of course, that's exactly what happened here with SHIB. So when it comes down to it, we have a, sort of 3-week period of just horizontal trading at a certain point. When we look at Shiba Inu right now, if we are to really zoom out and take a, sort of wider look at what could possibly happen here, I see a scenario that is very possible here in the future where we trade horizontally between around 6.9, around 7, somewhere around there, with a bottom here of around 5.96. And this could very well be a new period of horizontal trading that we see here that could be set up, where this just gets filled out, of course, where it's hitting the top and the bottom, the top and the bottom, and obviously there isn't an awful lot of volatility. I think that's what we should try to avoid as best possible when trading this and looking at this in the future, is to avoid volatility in that sense, because obviously when we see extremely volatile price buys like this, of course it's not going to sustain that. But the question is, does everyone just jump ship immediately? And I don't think that's the case at all. So when we look at our indicators, of course, guys, we take a look at the relative strength index. You guys can see we are greatly exceeding that at a certain point here around the earlier part of the day here, and then you guys can see that falls down, unfortunately, into a sort of more normal range, and that normal range is what I highlighted. That normal range is between roughly 6 and like 7.5, 7.8, somewhere around there. So you're going from like 60 to like the high 70s in this scenario, and the relative strength index considers this to be normal. So in theory, we could head up all the way to the top of the relative strength index now, head up all the way to around 78, 79, somewhere around there again, and that would be normal. The relative strength index would consider that to be acceptable within these boundaries, and that's good because it shows you that based on market conditions, it is completely possible to head up towards 7.8, 7.9, 80 again without having excessive volatility due to extreme unhealthy buy volume. So we do have that opportunity there. When of course we check the MACD, you guys can see we are not loading in here at all, actually, which is unfortunate. Here we go. You guys see the MACD. Of course, we are entering that sort of new sell zone, but you'll notice the red is getting a little bit lighter here, and they're sort of converging. So it looks as if this may be taking a sweep into the green, into the potential buy zone here in the near future. And of course, the MACD isn't always accurate, but it is another good indicator to look at. And of course, our final indicator, the Fibonacci retracement, who could not take a look at that? When we look at our fib levels here, you guys can see we are going to sort of zoom in here and get a deeper look. You guys can see it is charting the top of the run, which is around 88, and the bottom of the run here, which is at around 57. And essentially what we are looking for is any of these percentage points on the Fibonacci retracement that look to be an area of support. And really the only area of support that I could say right now looks to be the 23.6% line. So this line, the 23.6% line, is a pretty good, it's not exact, but it is a pretty good, sort of estimate as a potential line of support. So again, you guys can see around 6.4, 6.3, it seems to bounce off of. Again, I could see a future set of runs kind of looking like this over the next 24 hours. So, the only real line of resistance looks to be the 61.8% line, and that's being covered up here by those green candles, but that 61.8% line looks to be where it is being challenged. So if my prediction comes true, it would struggle around the 61.8% line, and every time it approaches it would probably end up heading down. So that is the possibility I see coming up here in the near future. So all around, definitely a significant improvement from what I think a lot of the worst case scenarios were out there. Because let's be honest, nobody really knew what was going to happen today after the explosive growth yesterday. So no one really knew what was going to happen. So ideally, it looks as if it has, sort of won the battle it needed to win, which was, of course, maintaining a level of support that isn't like an utterly tragic number, which was not. And that number, of course, that we talked about, a little bit earlier in this video, that line of support that, we really needed is, somewhere between like the 6s and the 7s, and that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing stuff because it has been able to do this without heading into the 30s and the 40s and the 50s again. So all around, guys, good news. Hopefully you all have enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more daily SHIB vids. My name is Matt. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.